So 4 years ago, I did a video about my pub shed, and I saw a comment the other day talking about how they're a waste of time, how you get them and then people put a bit of praise on you about what a great job you've done, and you do a bit of showing off, and then after that it just gets abandoned. You put the bikes in there, you put all of the rubbish in there that you don't want in your house, and it becomes a dumping ground. So what I'm going to do today, I'm just going to talk through where I'm at with mine. Do I still use it? Is it worth getting one? And I'll give you a bit of an update on what I'm going to do next. So to start off with, I'll just talk you through it. It's a 4 metre by 3 metre log cabin. As you can see, there's no bikes in here, and to be fair, not a massive amount has changed. Although I am planning one or two things, I do want to make an update to it. So, having used it probably too regularly over the last 4 years, I started thinking about doing another video and looking at topics and that, and I saw this comment on when I did a couple of Google searches for ideas. Actually, it was a Reddit thread, and this guy had come on there just saying they're a complete waste of time. You know, all these lockdown projects are now either abandoned or they're full of bikes and being used as storage. No one wants to go into someone's shed at the bottom of the garden, all huddled round. You know, they have a couple of cans in it and then they're back to the pubs. Well, it's not been like that for me at all. I mean, what I've found is if you're thinking of getting one, just go for it. And I'm sure there'll be other people out there that have got pub sheds that drop me a comment below on how you get on with yours. But how I've found it is people come round more, and we tend to, it's not quite cheap beers, Weatherspoons sort of thing, get loaded up before you go out, but we tend to start here or finish here. So first of all, what have I learnt? Well, I already knew this, but timber buildings move a lot. So we've got, there's movement through the seasons. So obviously you've got, it's in direct sunlight. So where this is, it's kind of, the front of it is south facing. So I get a lot of sun, and the doors need adjusting every now and again. And I'll also just show you a little bit around the frames, massive amount of movement. But because of the way that I designed it at the beginning, where I haven't sort of panelled it top to bottom, there's not been any damage. So, you know, I'm pretty pleased with the way that the building stood up. 4 years later, it's still in great condition. You know, I have had to look after it. I've treated the outside, and I've painted it a couple of times in that 4 year period just to make sure it's you know, it's watertight. We've not had any leaks. I've not had any issue with any of that side of it. What hasn't worked too well is this area here. So I'm gonna have to do it completely different. These floating shelves that I got, they were only pretty cheap from B&Q, to be fair, but it's time for them to go. The other thing is this light here. It sort of fits in with the other light that we've got on the other side. However, we hardly ever turn it on. It's just too bright. I've put the dimmer bulbs in, but what tends to happen, because it's a relatively small building, we just leave that light on with the LEDs on the bar, and don't really use that much. Also, it's time to do a bit of an update on the furniture. So one of the stools has pretty much given up on me, and the sofa has had a bit of a running repair. So again, because we're using it so much, it's had a lot of, we've had a few parties, people, obviously, they squeeze an extra couple of people in there, and then before you know it, the legs are falling apart. So I think it was New Year's Eve, we had a few people around, and someone sat on the side. There was quite a few people on it and tipped up. So I've put a bit of a frame on as a bit of a temporary measure, but it's time that I got a new sofa. So what I'm thinking of doing is maybe amending that area a little bit to fit a corner sofa in, so we can get more people in there. But as I said, I'll do another video on my plans, put a bit more detail into what I'm going to do next. So kind of back to the main point, I guess, has it been worth it? 100%. It's another room. It's like an extension, because it's nice and quiet here at the back of the garden. As I said before, we use it all the time. I think it's changed the way that we don't have to go out. We can invite people round without it affecting, us going in the house. We can be pretty self-contained in here. So yeah, it's been absolutely worth it, and I'd encourage anyone to take the plunge if you're thinking of doing it still. It's definitely worth it. The other thing I should point out is the beer machines. So still got the same lineup. I've got the Blade, the Perfect Draft, which gets the most use, and then I've got the Sub, although the Sub hardly ever gets used these days, to be fair. I tend to just focus on most of the time it's just the Perfect Draft, but if I'm having a party, I'll get something on the Blade, which currently I've got a cider on there. I've had a cider on there, I've just finished it, and then I'd have something different on the Perfect Draft, which I like just trying all of the new stuff that comes out. So yeah, so in summary, don't listen to the negativity. If you're thinking of getting a pub shed, in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. I know some people have got different buildings and they've had different experience, but I can only speak for myself. And also, I've been in a Facebook group, and there's a lot of people there that seem to be enjoying theirs as well. So don't hesitate, just go and get it built and get on with it. And then the other thing is, what I wanted really is a bit of a community. So I'm interested in hearing from other people that have got pub sheds or thinking of getting one. I always like the comments, so please do comment on this and tell me what you think, what we should do next. And then hopefully I'll be putting a video out pretty soon, just showing you what I'm planning on doing, and hopefully with a few updates. So thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully hear from you in the comments, and see you all soon.